Put her in gear on the other side.
How about this one?
So we purchased this dozer last summer. It's an International Dresser 175B track loader from the late 60s, early 70s. International made around 13,000 of the 175s, with 6,500 of those being 175Bs. The 175B uses a turbocharged 6-cylinder DT407, putting out around 120 horsepower and weighs in over 14 tons. It uses a single-stage torque converter, 2-speed power shift transmission with a manual high-low speed range. This gives you 4 forward and 4 reverse speeds. The track frame calls for 6 rollers on each side, outfitted with a 39-section sealed track. So it took us a while to get new fuel primed up in the system, but once we got it started, it ran great. And as you saw, it also took us a bit to get it in gear and build clutch pressure, but we managed to move it 50 or so yards that day to stage it until we could get it moved. It developed a hydraulic leak that same day on one of the hoses running to the bucket, but we managed to plug it up until we could get it back to work on. About a week later, we got a tractor trailer lined up and were able to get it moved to my uncle's property so we could start working on it. The first things we did were change the oil filter, hydraulic fluid and filters, change the fuel filter, greased up all the zerks. I've got a picture coming up here, a feed wire that runs up to the ignition switch from the starter solenoid, completely chewed up, so I cut that out and spliced in a new section of wire to get the starter switch working again. Unfortunately, the track tensioners were not moving. They were lock solid on this, and it had been that way for some time because the previous owners had used iron blocks as shims. So we got in there with the porta power to adjust the track sag. We got it adjusted approximately 2 inches on both sides, which is about the standard amount of sag on one of these. These 175s are modern enough that they use grease actuated cylinders as opposed to the older screw style, but again, they were seized up. The pins and bushings on the track links aren't terribly worn, and the wear's all on one side. Looks like they've never been turned, so that gives us the possibility to turn them and continue to wear out where we can't tighten up the track. So then we changed the fluid in both the final drives, made up some new armrests for it because they were shot, and replaced that blown hydraulic hose. So my uncle's got it out into the pasture, and we're using it just a little bit, but a major hydraulic hose blew out on the back of the dozer. So we had to cut and weld a new fitting onto the replacement hose since we couldn't find the right replacement. Apparently this was not the first time it had been done to this hose, and replacing the hose was actually a pretty long operation with that big winch in place. We ended up unbolting the hydraulic reservoir and lifting it up some to give us a little more clearance. And all in all, we probably logged 4 to 5 hours on that hose, but we got a few hours of use out of it last fall before it was parked for the winter. Everything was holding solid though, and now it's spring's here. We're getting ready to get it back out of the barn, and I should have some more videos coming up of us using it and some various repairs and modifications that are going to be done to it. So stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.